Hello and welcome to this edition of Ringside Digest. I'm your host Kirk today, along with my co-host Noah Byrne. And Noah's back from vacation. Very, very good time. We've missed him the past week. The channel's grown a lot in the week he's been gone, but welcome back from vacation.
Love to see you.
So in this video, we're going to be going over the incidents that happened yesterday in the Oilers and Vegas game. A couple suspensions going to be happening, being handed out, a couple fines, a lot of penalties. So we're going to be going over that in this video, going over what we think, the situation, what could happen. But before we get into this one, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more content from us. The channel's been growing a lot recently. We do very much appreciate the support. We have a lot of exciting stuff coming as well. You know, the draft, playoffs are underway. Got a few more ideas, little secret ideas planned as well that may be coming out soon that we're working on. So if you want to see that and get excited for it like we are, make sure to subscribe if you want to miss it, because I don't think you will. It's going to be very exciting. So now we're going to go over the game that, like I said, it was yesterday, May 11th, the 4-1 win for the Oilers, tied the series up 2-2. But there was a few things near the end of the game, pretty much all happened, sparked near the end of the game, that did cause a bit of area of concern for the Department of Player Safety 1, the Edmonton Oilers 2, and also the Vegas Golden Knights 3. So, like a few big losses, a couple suspensions being handed out, like I said. But we're going to go over the first one here, which happened, well, it was the later one. But the thing I think that caused a little bit of concern is this one. Darnell Nurse and Jay Woodcroft has been fined, and Darnell Nurse suspended. This one here came out from Player Safety this morning. Edmonton Oilers Darnell Nurse has been automatically suspended for one game, and coach Jay Woodcroft has been fined for $10,000 under the rule 46.21, instigating in the final 5 minutes of regulation. So this one happened at the end of the game. I would say sparked due to an incident that happened a bit earlier that we will be going over at the end of this video, or the second half. But Darnell Nurse fought Nick Hague, instigated the fight in the final, I think it was like 50 seconds of it. The fight happened. I think a bit of this, the suspension, well, the fine or just whatever, the whole situation was caused by also the blowing the kiss to Nick Hague of Darnell Nurse.
Yeah.
Bit of a, I don't really know if you want to do that, but the thing is with this one, it's a retaliatory aspect, I would say, a penalty. Because Alex Pietrangelo took a slash to the hands of Leon Draisaitl, to the wrist, like right here on the arm, in the minute and a half left in the game, in a completely empty net. An absolutely unnecessary play, an absolutely intent to injure play. And I think that Pietrangelo, he did get kicked out of the game, so I think that this fight from Darnell Nurse was just kind of an answering the bell type of situation. Obviously, it couldn't be Alex Pietrangelo because he was no longer in the game at this point. But even with that, it was still a kind of unnecessary penalty. You know, this is the playoffs. I know you have to stand up for your teammates, but you don't want to get suspended for a game. He's one of their top defenders, along with Mattias Ekholm. Evan Bouchard in this playoffs, he's playing incredible as well. And now he's suspended one game. A very, very huge loss. You know, the Edmonton Oilers, their defense did get better at the trade deadline with the acquisition of Mattias Ekholm, but their skill is forwards. And we know it's not their defense overly. They have good defense, but it's a questionable penalty to take. So, Noah, I want you to tell me, what do you think about this fighting suspension? Obviously, the fine comes with it and the suspension, but the instigating. But what do you think about the fight in the final 5 minutes of this game?
I'm a bit confused, you know, the whole rule thing. I guess rules are rules for a reason. But I really don't think this should be a suspendable play. You know, yeah, you can make the argument he skated halfway across the blue line to fight Nick Hague. But the retaliation thing, you know, you got a guy, the best player probably on your team. I know a little bit. That's a little bit of a hot take, but I think Draisaitl's been the better player
in this playoff. Absolutely.
Yeah, but you know, you gotta step up for your teammates. You know, and I'm a firm believer in that, and I've been saying it all for the past couple of videos we made. That you know, you need to play gritty and you need to play hard nose. And I don't like being suspended, and especially a guy like Darnell Nurse who's such a key piece of that Oilers blue line. So I don't agree with the suspension, but I guess rules are rules.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much you can do with it. Especially with that rule. A fight, if it was instigation, it was full intent that's what he was going to do when he crossed the blue line. I mean, if maybe could have made it a bit less obvious that he was going to do that so it wouldn't result in instigation. But it fully was. Kind of, it happened 40 seconds after the original penalty for Pietrangelo. So, I mean, you kind of assumed that was going to be for it. But on that subject, we're now going to go to the Alex Pietrangelo. He has a hearing today, basically. The suspension that will be to come. We've been waiting pretty much all day to make this video, waiting for what the suspension will be. Now that we've been making this video, I'd say the suspension will probably come either in about 20 minutes now that we've started the video, or we're recording this video. Usually what happened with the Bo Horvat, and now happened to everything. So, the Department of Player Safety also tweeted this earlier today. The Vegas Golden Knights' Alex Pietrangelo will have a hearing today for slashing against Leon Draisaitl. You know, we gotta know, this was very, very suspendable play. Was completely unnecessary. I will show the slash here. It's absolutely no need. But also on this subject, that this is a guaranteed, now that is a hearing, it is a guaranteed suspension. We don't know how long it'll be. I'm kind of going to say 2 games, mainly because of this tweet right here. This is the idea I have that I agree with. Not that the two are connected, but it does feel like that the balance would be that it's going to be 2 games for Alex Pietrangelo, that Darnell Nurse got 1, because it is a more dangerous play than what Darnell Nurse did. It's a full intent, a slash. It would have to be more. I don't think that these two should be the same suspension. That was also from Shayna from The Athletic, covers the Devils, I believe. But it is a very suspendable play, like I said, and I think 2 games sounds about right. What do you think, Noah?
Yeah, absolutely. If there's anything more clear than an intent to injure, it's that right there, plain and simple. I look at it's a little bit of a different play. It was a hit to the head, but Mark Scheifele on Jake Evans there, I think it was 2 years ago, when it was a little bit of a broken play, and Jake Evans came around for a wraparound behind the net, and Mark Scheifele absolutely bodied him. It was an empty net against with Leon Draisaitl there as well, and I think Scheifele got four games for that.
Yeah, it was 4, and it went on into the next season. Yeah, they got eliminated.
So and I think going back to Darnell Nurse getting to 1 game, I think that's perfect. A 2 game. Pietrangelo's never been suspended before. He's roughly a clean player. A little bit of an out of character kind of thing for him to do. Yeah. I absolutely agree with 2 games.
Yeah. Also, just kind of putting this into perspective, along with the Michael Bunting suspension that happened earlier this playoffs.
Oh, yeah,
he got 3 games for an illegal check to the head on Eric Chernak. Now, this was a check to the head. It also was pretty much an intent to injure, kind of similar play. Same as this. It was completely unnecessary, but I think a slash should definitely be less than a hit to the head, which was 3 games in this case for Michael Bunting, but it should be more than Darnell Nurse's 1 game for the instigating the fight. So I think a 2 game does sound about right in this situation. I wouldn't give him anything above 3, really. I wouldn't even probably give him 3. I could also see a 1 if it wasn't a 2-minute or Darnell Nurse got that suspension for 1 game. I would see a 1. I think it has to be a step up from Darnell Nurse, but a step down from Michael Bunting. So that's pretty much what we think about that situation.
Yeah.
There's very limited you can do with it.
George Peros over there in the Department of Player Safety has been so inconsistent, and making these videos, predicting how much the games are going to be. It's a little bit, we're kind of living on the edge a little bit, because you never know how much it's actually going to be, and people have different opinions, and everybody thinks this and everybody thinks this. So very curious to see what it's going to be for Pietrangelo. I think it's going to be either a game or 2. Plain and simple.
Yeah, and we don't know right now. Nothing's been released. We've been waiting all day, like I said. So I'm sure we'll find. It's supposed to be out today. We'll find out now. I'd probably say in a few hours. First game of the night has started between the Devils and Hurricanes. So it can't be too much longer, because it's almost the end of the day. So we'll find out eventually. But that's all we got for this video. You hope you liked it. If you liked it, make sure to give it a like. Make sure to subscribe, like I said at the beginning of the video as well, if you want to see all the future stuff we have, all the exciting stuff. But like I said, like the video. Thank you for watching.